Hello, everybody. So, I'm sure on the channel you guys see a lot of crazy content. Well, not crazy, but pretty standard content via me, right? You're used to seeing Duel Links, regular Yu-Gi-Oh, and Soul Calibur, right? So nothing special is happening today, except for the fact that we are looking at my solved Trinkets. And I say my solved Trinkets list because I think that it's about time that I make this deck in real life. Okay. My locals is open back up. I believe there's still like mastermind dates or something. I don't know. I'm not up there too often. But my locals opened back up, and I had a friend who was gracious enough to lend me the core so that I can start playing IRL again. And I want to do that. So today what we're going to look at is the build that I am closest to making IRL, with a few cards that I'm missing. But this is the version of Trinkets I plan on playing IRL in real life, or in any remote duels that I hopefully get to play. So let's go ahead and slide this up so you guys can see that instead of my beautiful face. Here we are. So this is the Trinkets list that we're looking at today. I have some videos downloaded down there. They're gone. Now what am I looking for? I need to turn this on. Boom, there I am. Hello. Sorry, I'm bad at YouTube videos. So today we have my full Trinkets list. That's what we're going to be looking at right here. Main, extra, and side. There was a few concessions I made. For the longest time when I was making Trinkets lists, I was really stuck to the idea of 40 cards. Because every deck I've ever played, I've never wanted to go over 40. But I like the versatility of this deck, that it's all one-card starters. So essentially, if you're playing 45 cards, which is what I'm going to do today, and what I'm going to do from now on probably, 45 cards, and you're playing 15 one-card starters, because I'm no longer playing Terraforming, you're playing a third of your deck is starters. A third of your deck, as long as you have one other card in your hand, the addition with Roxy's on your opening turn. Hello, Terra. My cat's here with me too. One of my four. You will have a play. Okay. And I do value chain blocking and extenders. So there's a card in here that you guys have never seen me play before in this deck, and that's Parallel Exceed, which I think is a phenomenal card. It leads to an additional interruption. It is also a chain blocker and allows you to link climb into other things, such as the few link monsters we have in here that are flex spots. So let's go ahead and get into the list, starting with the Trinkets names. So we have the three Rocky Boy, we got the three Hothead, Lamseys, Roxy's, nothing to say about those, they're all one card starter, same thing. We got the three Crybaby, Dropsies, and the three Whirly Boy, we got and then for the hand traps, we have three Troll and Lockbird, because it's a hard stop hand trap. If a deck is one of those extremely search heavy decks, boom, hard stop. Then we have another hard stop hand trap. We have Artifact Lancia, stops all the banishing, even beats things like Cosmic Cyclone, which maybe we should be siding MST instead, because we are maining Lancia. This stops people from Cosmic Cycloning our back row, such as there can only be one in the sideboard, our Trinkets Pandemonium, because that's a really easy way to counter this deck, and our Solemn Judgment. That's a 1-for-1 trade I'll usually take if they're going to Cosmic randomly and they hit a Solemn. I think I'll let it happen. There's no point in negating, you know? Then we're playing Effect Veiler as an additional hand trap. I really wanted to play the flex spot of Infinite Impermanence, but I thought that drawing this card off of Pranks, or drawing this card off of Roxy's during my opponent's turn, makes it more powerful than Infinite Impermanence, because I can't set the Impermanence to use that as an interruption during my opponent's turn if I didn't draw it during my combo or open with it on turn 4. So we're not playing it in the main deck. I want to try to find side deck space for it, but my side deck's a little tight. I actually had to make some concessions. There was a few cards I wanted to play, and it looks like I'm not getting to. Anyways, let's continue to move on. The extenders, we have, I guess I should go to the full Prank engine after that. We have the three Parallel Exceeds, chain blocks the first kid, when we summon Meow Meow Mew. And then also it allows us to make an Abyss Dweller on turn 1. Or a Traptrix Mephlasia, so that we can stop Nibiru. I'll show you guys what I mean by that here in a little bit. Then we have the 1 Instant Fusion as another extender, the 1-for-1 as an extender, Upstart Goblin, Pot of Desires, 2 Pot of Desires, 1 Upstart, so that I don't draw the third Desires on a regular basis, even though we're playing 45 cards, it's still highly likely. I've seen it happen to people, I'm not a big fan. And then 2 Polymerization. So the reason why I'm playing 1 Upstart is because that Upstart could have been a third Poly or a third Pot of Desires, and I didn't really want either. I was really leaning towards a third Pot of Desires, but it's a once per turn effect. If I draw Upstart off of Pot of Desires, I'm golden. If I draw Pot of Desires off Pot of Desires, I'm not golden. If I draw an Upstart and a Poly, I'm good. If I draw a double Poly, it's a little brickier. Not a big fan, so we threw in the Upstart as the 45th card. Seems a little weird, but I really wanted to play a full 45 card deck. We were playing it, Called by the Grave, stops hand traps, of course. The triple Prankits Pandemonium. I've seen Let's Play 2. If you're playing Desires, there's your deck hard stops if you kind of run into the situation where you lose all three. The only way that you're going to be able to kill your opponent in that case is to link climb into things like Axis Gotaker or Borlow Dragon. And I don't play a lot of link monsters, so I'd rather have the access to 5 fusion spells. I could also try to find room for more fusions, but we do play double pranks. We play 2 pranks so that we can recycle all our fusion cards. You shouldn't be running out of fusions. If you're running out of fusions, you're probably playing the deck wrong, or I don't know, you got really unlucky and then they banished your fusions or something. You couldn't recycle them because your Doodle-Doos will allow you to recycle and your pranks will allow you to recycle. Replace, this is our 5th Prank Kid name, but it's not really technically a Prank Kid name because it has even more synergy with the deck because you can chain block with it, which is really cool. Not on turn 1, but you can do it after the fact. And then our only traps are Gravedigger's Trap Hole, which lets us play under Nibiru, and also lets us have an interruption if we don't have to use it for Nibiru bait during our opponent's turn. And the one Prank Kid's Plan, which I've seen a lot of people cut it. I do still like it because it recycles your entire engine, and you can also use it as a way to link summon during your opponent's turn. And of course, you can link summon any Prank Kid's monster. You don't specifically only have to link summon the link 4. You can make a Doodle-Doo during your opponent's turn to search. You can make a Bow Wow Bark so that you can tag out and make things indestructible by, I believe this one is card effects. Pretty cool. And then when it's in the graveyard, of course, that's a versatility to recycle your entire engine. Now, onto the extra deck, which my extra deck's really tight only because I'm playing the Exceed engine. Some people don't play these two, Abyss Dweller and Rafflesia. So these could be either additional links or additional fusions, if that's the route you want to go down. Not me. That's not me. I like the versatility of having an additional target. If I draw a Water Kid, an additional kid that's not Roxy's, and Poly, or if I draw 2 kids that are, the problem with just having Toad, I guess let me explain the extra deck first. So in the extra deck, we have 1 Battle Butler, 1 Rocket Ride, 1 Weather Washer. Those are the fusions. Recycle them when you need them. Hopefully, you don't run out. 1 Abyss Dweller, 1 Trap Tricks Rafflesia, my personal attack. 1 Totally Awesome, super duper standard. 1 Ripper and Roaster, I've seen people cutting it. I don't want to be one of those people. 1 Borlow Dragon, I really value having outs to Dragoon, so I play Borlow Dragon. It lets us clean take it, even maybe pop cards on their board during main phase 2. 1 Nightmare Unicorn, 1 Nightmare Phoenix. And then the Prank Kids monsters, we have 1 Bow Wow Bark, 2 Doodle-Doo, and 2 Meow Meow Mew. I'm only playing 2 Meow Meow Mew because I wanted to fit in the Rafflesia. That was the flex spot. That should honestly be a 3rd Meow Meow Mew. Because this deck's kind of like Zoo in the fact that every time you normal summon a monster, it's a hand trap. But a lot of times they don't wait for they don't hit the monster. They wait for you to make the Meow Meow Mew so they can negate whatever you're going to summon off the kid. So you're losing additional resources from the kid and you lose the Meow Meow Mew. Or you're stuck with just the Meow Meow Mew on board and it doesn't do anything by itself. It's easier to out too, and it's extremely small, only 1,000 attack. You know, you make them go into it, make them waste something, and then you kill the kid. Or interrupt the kid is what I should say. Now, the reason why I'm playing 2 Poly is so that I have access to the Toad. And I also have access to things like Abyss Dweller or Trap Tricks Rafflesia. Now what happens is, if you ever draw, the way that the Toad combo works, the Toad Poly combo works, is you have to draw 2 non-water kids and Poly. But now you have the additional access of 2 non-rock kids, or a non-rock kid. You have to make sure neither one of the kids are a rock, and in the other situation you have to make sure neither one of the kids are water and Poly. So when that happens, instead of making Totally Awesome, which floats, so it's a little nicer, you make Trap Tricks Rafflesia, which also allows you to play around a hand trap. And if they don't have a hand trap that they're going to use on you, then you just have an additional interruption on the board. It's the same philosophy as Toad, but I like the double access to either one if I need them. You can also make both of them in this deck specifically because we're playing Parallel Sea. If I wasn't, I probably wouldn't be playing the Rafflesia because it'd be less likely that I'm going to draw into some sort of a hand that's going to end me on a board where I can make Rafflesia Toad or just Rafflesia or Toad. That's 5 cards you could take out. You could take out both the Polys and all 3 of the Parallel Seeds. And that would be a 40 card list, and it'd be pretty normal. You could try that if you want to, but I really like the 45 cards. Into the side deck. Side deck according to your locals, to whatever event you're playing in, to your online meta, whatever you happen to be running into a lot. I really, once again, wanted to value out to Dragoon, and also wanted to stop people from being able to play the game. So for the back row decks, I really wanted to respect the back row decks. I'm playing the 1 red reboot, the 3 Cosmic Cyclone, the 1 Harpy's Feather Duster, and the 1 Dynarestlo Pancratops. This is for back row, but this is also for the Dragon Link matchup. It doubles for both. In the Dragon Link matchup, a lot of times I'll use Herald of Abyss. I'll use Herald of Abyss, Cosmic Cyclones, and Dynarestlo Pancratops. I don't really like Phantasme because Phantasme really only works against Dragon Link. I don't really want to have that in the side deck specifically for that one deck. Even though it is a really good deck, it's probably the best deck in the format right now. But I'm not a big fan of choke holds on one deck when I could have something that outs multiple decks. 3 Herald of the Abyss. I want this is for any of those decks that make some untargetable, unbeatable boss monsters that you can't get rid of. Now your opponent has to get rid of it. You're not getting rid of it, they're getting rid of it. You know, Herald of the Abyss, powerful card. You do have to pay 1,500 life points. You can get those life points back with Roxy, it's no big deal. You'll still be able to play every time. This mainly is for Dragoon, but there are tons of other dumb, annoying boss monsters that rogue decks make that you can't really out if they get to it before you can see a hand trap, or the hand trap that you drew doesn't stop it. Then we have 3, there can only be 1, there can be only 1. I just really like this card. I really wanted to fit it in the main deck. The only way I would have done that is to not play with Relic Seeds, for running the entire Rafflesia engine. So instead, I'm playing that there can only be 1 on the sideboard. So if I'm playing into matchup that's playing less hand traps, and I don't have to worry about chain blocking and making Rafflesia. And this just shuts down so many things. This card plus Solemn Judgment, which we're playing 3 of as well. Sometimes it's just Exodia. It's God. It's crap. You just win the game on the spot. So to go over the list one more time in a few more minutes, let's do it without the theory so you guys can just hear everything. We're playing the full Prankids engine of 3 Roxys, 3 Dropsies, 3 Fancies, 3 Lemsies, 3 Pandemonium, 2 Pranks, 3 Plights, and the 1 Plank. Then we're playing for the hand traps. We're playing 3 Droll, 3 Ash, 3 Effect Veiler, and 3 Lancia. Extenders, 3 Parallel Exceed, 2 Polymerization, 2 Pot of Desires, 1 Upstart Goblin, 1 Instant Fusion, and 1 1-for-1. And then for the interruptions, I guess, I could have also put Gravedigger's Trap Pool in there. That's the full list. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope to do deck profiles of people that I run into at locals with cool, spicy lists. Maybe, if I'm allowed to. I don't know if that's going to be applicable or not. But either way, this is Beanie Thuggish signing out. Thank you guys for watching the video. See you guys next time. Peace out.